Hello. I just want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for being a small group leader. I was just talking to a lady this last weekend at a wedding, and she was telling me how she's my age, which we will keep numbers out of it, but she was telling me how influential and important the adults in her life were when she was going to church and when she was a teenager. And she said how, you know what, there wasn't a whole lot of youth at the church that I went to, and the adults that surrounded me and encouraged me, she's like, I still look back and see how grateful I am for those people. And it was just simple things. Like they said, hey, I'm really glad you're here. It's great to see you. I'm happy that I get to be a part of your life and get to be with you. So just small things that had a huge impact in her life. And that's you. So thank you for being a small group leader. Thank you for taking the time out of your week and being an encouragement to these kids and just investing in their spiritual lives. It's huge. It's a big deal. And we cannot do small groups without you. And we feel that small groups are a very important part of our youth ministry, and they're a very vital part of our youth ministry, because just a basic number thing with the size of our crew, hey, we want to break it down. We want to get into small groups so that we can have real conversations, and that's possible because you're volunteering and you're pouring into these students' lives. So thank you very much. I just want to go through real quick and just kind of give you a glimpse of what it's going to look like to be a part of the small group night. So we say small groups, just like everything, 6:30 to 8 o'clock Wednesday nights every other week. And basically what that looks like is the first, it's not like this in every group, but the first half hour or so from 6:30 to 7, we're just hanging out, maybe just playing a game or two. There's snacks. Some of the groups have actual food, like they're serving supper usually in the homes. And the older kids, they don't necessarily have to have an organized game where they can just kind of hang out and talk. And it's just a great opportunity for you to get into their world and start building that relationship and getting to know your kids and your students. At 7 o'clock or around 7 o'clock is when we have our teaching time. And what that looks like is just, we're focusing on this year is just equipping the students, equipping them to not only just to grow in their relationship with Jesus, but equipping them to be ministers, equipping them to be able to share the gospel, just equipping them to represent Jesus throughout this year. We want to just equip them. We feel like that's what we're called to do. And so that's what all of our teaching times or our lessons are going to kind of revolve around. And what that'll look like is I will send out, hey, this is the questions that we're going to go over this week. And so the first ones is kind of just icebreaker questions. Just, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, how's your week? What are your highs and lows? Things like that. Is there anything that we talked about tonight that you thought was interesting or that stood out to you? Things like that. That just everybody can answer. And all of our questions are designed, they're not yes or no questions. They're thought-provoking, tell me why. You're going to have to talk questions. One of the things that we will try this year that will be different is we're going to have a teaching time, and then basically, hey, pause or time out, then we're going to go into a question. And we're going to spend 5, 6, 7 minutes discussing that question. Then we're going to go back to teaching time and pause, next question, 5, 6, 7 minutes discussing that question, go back to teaching time. And so it'll kind of be back and forth. We've had feedback from small group leaders in the past that we've done that a few times with, and they said, hey, we really like that method. So we're going to give that a try this year. The questions that we send out, got the question in bold, we've got an answer underneath that question. And so your job is just, you're facilitating discussion, you're guiding the discussion with some of the younger groups. They tend to just go off on rabbit trails and tangents, and we're talking about fantasy football, and it's like, okay, let's bring it back in, bring it back in. We understand these are whatever 7th or 8th graders and they've got a lot of energy, but we want to try to stay focused. And so you're just helping facilitate that discussion. Hey, if they have a great question and you don't know the answer to, you just say that. Oh man, that's a good question. I don't know right now. I'll find out. And then you can find out, you can research, you can ask us, do whatever. And just close the night. We like to close the night out with prayer in your group. So it's just a time where you can. We try to have consistency in the groups where the kids will kind of, a lot of times the same kids will group up, and they'll find the same leader. That doesn't happen all the time, but a lot of times it just kind of naturally does, and that's a good thing to have that consistency. And it helps you build relationships and get to know those students just a little bit better. And so that's how the night rolls. We try to get done at 8 o'clock, and some of the kids hang out and play and just fellowship, and some kids go home right away, and either way is fine. But that is the night. So just wanted to say thank you for investing and pouring into the lives of these kids. I appreciate it very much. And if you have any questions, just let me know, and we'll get those answered. Thanks.